Well, I've just finished a mountain bike loop here. Started on that road down there, which goes a little bit higher up there over to what's known as the San Pedro Ridge, through the mountains, up over the trail, up to the Nike missile site. And then I came down here, and I've just been sitting on the bench here reflecting on the day. Beautiful day after the first major rainfall. We had almost an inch of rain last night. And I'm going to continue on my way down the trail to a local university, Dominican University here in San Rafael. And that kind of provides a stepping off point to the thought for this video. One of the things that I find somewhat concerning about modern education today is that students often are not very well informed about what's happening in the world, and they don't see what's happening as having any direct relationship to their lives. We've had these hearings in the last week or so for the confirmation of Judge Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court, and most of the students, there's a student right there, are really pretty oblivious to what's going on. If you ask them, they say, "Oh, I don't really know about that kind of stuff." And this strikes me as one of the great opportunities with Truth Sphere. If you recall, Truth Sphere taps the wisdom of the crowd to provide nodes, that each of which are providing inputs, data inputs into the Truth Sphere about questions of truthfulness and topical interest. For example, the question might come up as to whether or not Judge Kavanaugh is an honest person or not. And we're trying to generate a number from 1 to 100 to measure his truthfulness as a truth score. This is a central question with regard to the confirmation process. Do we want someone on the Supreme Court who has perjured himself in the confirmation process, as is alleged by Bernie Sanders and others who are part of the Senate and the observations of what's going on? Now, with the Truth Sphere, the people who are providing the inputs, the data inputs as to whether or not someone is truthful, are in many cases experts, but in other cases they're just ordinary citizens who may have an opinion or have done some research. Collectively, they're known as the truth force. And so the question is, who comprises this truth force? I can see that one way this could reach out and sort of activate the educational process is that professors at universities could be members of the truth force. And they could give assignments to students to make a judgment as to truthfulness, and it would require some internet research, so that not only is the professor a member of the truth force, but all the professor's students in that class might be members of the truth force, and each of them would have a truth rating, which determines how valuable their inputs have been into the process. So this would be a way of bringing current events closer to the lives of students, and in some cases students would get credit for being a member of the Truth Force. It would bring alive the world around them, and it would engage them in the processes of democracy. That's a win-win. Here comes another student.